Whereas Turkey today, this entire area was previously occupied by the Romans. The Roman Empire extended to Anatolia and Eastern Europe, the center of which was Constantinople, which the world knows today as Istanbul. In the east of it was the rule of the Seljuk Empire. And these Seljuks belonged to the Turkic race. The Roman Empire built a long line of forts along its border to stop the Turks. And the troops in these forts fought against the invaders, but these attacks have increased to such an extent that it is no longer a matter of the border forts to stop them. So the Roman Emperor Romanus assembled a large army numbering more than 100,000 to permanently eliminate the Turkish threat, while the Romanos were preparing for war against the Seljuks. Alp Arslan, the greatest sultan of the Seljuk Turks, was embroiled in a war with the Fatimid Caliphate of Egypt. The Fatimid Caliphate controlled the territories of Beit el-Maqdis and Syria, and Alp Arslan wanted to seize these territories, but it is obvious that Alp Arslan could not fight on two fronts at the same time. He sent a message to the Roman Emperor Romanus that if Romanus did not fight, the Turks would stop invading his territories, and in return, the Roman frontier army would not raid Turkish territories. Romanos would have believed Alp Arslan, but the problem was that the border between the two kingdoms was unclear. Therefore, this agreement could not be concluded, and the Roman emperor continued to advance towards the borders of the Seljuk Empire. In 1071, Romanos arrived in Anatolia with a large army at Malazgirt, where the Seljuk Empire was not far away. So Alp Arslan also had no other option but to leave one of the two fronts. So Alp Arslan stopped the war with the Fatimids and came to his capital Iran to prepare for the battle with the Roman army. Here he raised an army of 30,000 including skilled horsemen and archers. Alp Arslan traveled a long distance to the shores of Lake Van and drove back a large part of the Roman army. It was a surprise attack that the Roman army could not handle. The second apocalypse for the Romans was that the mercenary Turkish soldiers in their army joined the army of Alp Arslan at the same time. This caused a stampede among the Romans and they fled. This escape also demoralized the part of the Roman army led by Romanus. When the regular battle of Alp Arslan began in this area, it was rumored that the Roman Emperor Romanus had been killed. This rumor broke the back of the large army of Christians. The Roman army began to retreat after fighting disorganized for some time. The Romans, who came with a huge army, lost the battle in just 24 hours, but what was about to happen was nothing compared to that. At the end of the battle, a common Seljuk soldier came to Alp Arslan and threw a Roman soldier in front of Alp Arslan. Alp Arslan asked, "Who is this?" It is said to be the Roman Emperor Romanus. Alp Arslan could not believe that the Roman emperor was lying at his feet. Alp Arslan put his legs across the neck of Romanos and asked, "Tell me what you would do if I were brought to you like this." Romanus said, "I would have killed you or dragged you in chains through the markets of Constantinople." Alp Arslan replied, "You cannot imagine how terrible my revenge will be. Go, I forgive you." After that, Alp Arslan treated Romanos very well and gave him fine clothes and excellent food, and made a treaty that brought much of Anatolia under the control of the Seljuks. The Roman emperor promised to pay 1,500,000 gold coins as an annual tribute, and also promised to marry his daughter to Sultan Alp Arslan's son, and then Romanos was released. The Roman Emperor Romanus had not even reached Constantinople, but he was captured by the Roman rebels because there had been a rebellion against Romanus in Constantinople, and the new emperor had taken over. After the rebels captured Romanos, they gouged out his eyes and imprisoned him, where he died after some time. From that day on, Anatolia never again fell under Roman control. The Romans tried hard to take back this area but could not succeed. Yes, this place has become immortal in history because somewhere there was that Turkish tribe who used to live their life by driving animals in the long grasslands. Today, this tribe is known to the world as Ottoman Turks. After the Turks occupied large parts of Anatolia, the Kai tribe, like many other Turkic tribes, began to roam this lush and beautiful region. It is written in history that the people of Kai tribe were brave, tough and warlike people. Other tribes in Anatolia who were loyal to the Seljuks had the primary task of defending the Seljuk Empire against the Romans. In a way, it was the buffer zone of the Seljuk Empire. But the Seljuks faced the greatest destruction not from the Romans but from the Mongols. Genghis Khan was fond of fine clothes. And these clothes were made in the Islamic world. He sent some traders to the Muslim Sultan Khwarazm Shah, who was the ruler of Iran and Central Asia. Their aim was to collect the best cloth produced in these regions for Genghis Khan, but Khwarazm Shah killed the merchants sent by Genghis Khan as spies. Genghis Khan was furious and sent a messenger to Khwarazm Shah to investigate the matter, but Khwarazm Shah killed him too. And in this way, Genghis Khan got angry and started attacking the Muslim states from the border of China to Baghdad, and he reached Anatolia. Genghis Khan's successors destroyed the Seljuk Empire as well, and what remained was a small Seljuk Empire called Seljuk Rome. It was a group of small kingdoms ruled by descendants of Alp Arslan. Between this Seljuk Rome and the Roman Empire, the Kai clan was flourishing under the leadership of its chief Ertugrul Ghazi. After the death of Ertugrul Ghazi, the Kai clan became stronger under the leadership of his son Osman, and under Uthman's leadership the tribe became so powerful that small groups of Mongols were afraid to challenge it. Osman wanted to attack the Byzantine Empire of the Romans in order to expand and protect his state, but the Sangaran River was a natural obstacle in his way. On the other side of this river was the Byzantine Empire of the Romans. The Romans had built strong posts along the river. The archers on the posts did not allow the army of Osman to advance, but in 1302 AD, a natural calamity occurred due to which the Sangaran River changed course. Osman was waiting for this opportunity. He crossed the river and started attacking the Roman territories. When the Byzantines heard of Osman's attack, they sent an army to confront him. Here Osman displayed the war skills he had learned from the Mongols. Uthman first sent a small army of his own to meet the enemy. When the battle started, this army started running back. The enemy followed this army and reached the place where Osman and his main army were lying in ambush. Uthman saw the enemy approaching and attacked with full force. Thus the Roman army was badly defeated in this battle. After this victory, Osman conquered many cities and forts of the Romans. Among them Yeni Sihar was the most important. Osman made this Yeni Sihar his capital. Magnificent victories made Osman a hero to the Turks living in the region. Now the Turks of Anatolia began to gather one by one under the flag of Osman. Uthman's army was growing in size, but it was still smaller than the Roman army. But Uthman continued to attack the Romans even with this small army. Therefore, the number of his enemies was also increasing. Uthman considered Sheikh Adh Bali as his mentor. And Uthman also wanted to marry one of the Sheikh's daughters. But Sheikh Adh Bali was not satisfied with this. According to a tradition, one day Uthman had a dream, in which he saw a moon rising from the chest of Sheikh Adh Bali and entering his chest. Then a tree emerges from Uthman's body, whose branches spread in the east and west. Then 4 big rivers come out from the roots of this tree, and 4 big mountains support the spreading branches of this tree. Then suddenly a strong wind blows, and the leaves of this tree start flying towards a great city. According to this dream, this city was a place where 2 oceans and 2 continents meet. This city was like a ring, and Osman wanted to wear this ring, but in the meantime, his eyes opened. Uthman narrated this dream to Sheikh Adh Bali, so he said, "Congratulations, God has given you the good news of a great empire, and you will also marry my daughter." History is a witness that this dream came true. Uthman's morale increased greatly due to the interpretation given by the Sheikh and the weakening empire of the Romans. Osman besieged Bursa, one of the most important cities of the Byzantine Empire, near Constantinople, which is now known as Istanbul. This war continued for 10 years, but eventually the Ottoman Turks won in 1326 AD. The governor of Bursa surrendered to the Ottoman army, but when the city was conquered, Osman was close to death. When Uthman's son Orhan brought the good news of victory to the sick and old Uthman, he was overjoyed. He praised his son and appointed Orhan as his successor, and also made a will that after his death he should be buried in the city of Bursa, and Bursa should be made the new capital of the Ottoman Turks. A few days later, Osman died and was buried in Bursa, where Osman's tomb is still there today.
Thanks for watching. If you like this informative video, don't forget to subscribe us.